What's going on, everyone? This is week number 11 of the Pokemon Speedruns Draft League, and this is my team builder for the Jacksonville Jumbo Clawitzers. This week it is my rematch against division opponent 1% Ratatta, coached by BLainesterTheRogue. So a lot of the same stuff is going to be from last time, but there's going to be one crucial difference, so I'll go ahead and talk about that. I'll try to remember to link in the top right corner the team builder from last time if you're interested in my overall thoughts. Some things have changed, so we'll talk about the differences. So just quick recap, I'm currently 8-2, currently in sole possession of first place, so I control my destiny. Gino did win this week, so if I manage to win as well, I'm still ahead overall, and then I just have one more week to go to be able to clinch first place in the division. So the main differences from last time with BLainester's team is simply that he swapped out Kabutops for Kingdra. I think that potentially Kingdra might be a little bit worse against me in particular, mostly because it doesn't have priority Aqua Jet, so outside of the rain, it's a little bit slow, and it's vulnerable to certain things. So I'm going to hopefully take advantage of that in certain aspects. It's also notably a Dragon type, which is pretty huge for a certain Pokemon that I've put on my team this week that was not on in week 3, whichever week I played him. So we'll go ahead and talk about just a quick recap. Notable things on his team. Last time he brought Hydreigon, Dugtrio, Pelipper, Zapdos, Kingdra, and Muck. I think the vast majority of those are going to be good brings for him again this week. It's possible Zapdos gets swapped out, possibly for Dusknoir, or Gardevoir might make its way on there, and I think he didn't have Kingdra last time, but I assume he'll bring it this time. So I think Muck is also very good in general, so I think he should definitely consider bringing Muck again. So let's go ahead and talk about my team. So this Landers, I think, might exactly be the same Landers from last time with a little bit different spread, if I'm not mistaken. I think I have a little bit more. I don't have any special defense this time. Last time I had special defense, I think I put it into HP this time, or possibly attack, I can't remember which. Last time I was like weirdly afraid of Gardevoir, like Z Gardevoir, and now Z Crystal user is no longer Gardevoir. That's a mistake. It should be, I can actually fix that really quickly here. It should be not that. It should be Hydreigon. So, because it's Hydreigon now, Z Hydreigon is obviously a threat, but I actually expect him to be Scarf Hydreigon this time, because last time he actually would have potentially won if he was Scarf Hydreigon. So that's going to be an interesting thing to consider. So because he doesn't have Z Gardevoir now, I don't really need as much special defense investment, and I have other options to potentially do well against Gardevoir. So I ended up not going for that version of it. So yeah, this version is just a little bit more offensive and a little bit more generically tanky, and it will do better against Muck this time. Rocky MZ is for Pelipper and Zapdos switches. Earth Power is in case he brings Steelix. My other options were like U-Turn, obviously, but U-Turn I didn't feel it was as necessary as being able to reliably 2-hit KO Steelix. So that's the spread this time. Next mon on the team is Charizard. This time I ran a little bit different set. Last time I ran 3 attack, Dragon Dance. But I didn't ever really get a chance to Dragon Dance up because of the rain and stuff like that. So this time I went for Dragon Dance, Roost, and Outrage over Dragon Claw. Outrage is for more immediate power, does a lot of damage. I think it OHKOs both Kingdra and Hydreigon. It does a ton of damage to anything that's not Gardevoir, Steelix, or Fortress, basically, and Dusknoir. So like, it does an absolute crap ton to everything else, and so I felt like it was worth using it for the raw power over Dragon Claw from last time. I also didn't bring it last time, so there's a little bit of element of unexpected. Roost is because I may need to switch in and out a little bit more, and last time I had Healing Wish on Celebi, and this time I don't, so that's the main reason. Yeah, same plan as last time, only this time, because he has Kingdra, that's a better matchup for me, because I can potentially kill him on the switch with Outrage. So, next mon I want to talk about on the team is Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is the exact same spread and set as last time. This time I will not make the critical error that I made last time, which was not respecting the Z Crystal on Dugtrio. Basically, we're going to get to our other option for this in a minute, but there are situations where I'll be able to switch into Porygon 2 against Dugtrio and trap it, just like last time. The major difference this time is if I take an Earthquake on the switch, which I expect to, it'll do like roughly like 30-ish%. And then the main draw now is that I just have to recover on that turn, because if I recover the turn after he switches in and then he Z Earthquakes me, it does like 54 to like 45 or something like that % against this spread, and then I just recover it back off immediately, and then his regular Earthquakes don't do enough damage, and I can slowly take my time to 2-hit KO with Ice Beam. Originally I was going to either run more defense or more special attack to be able to cleanly kill the Dugtrio, but I realized in retrospect that the special attack investment needed would have been a lot. You would have really needed like 200 special attack, and the special defense is handy because he has Kingdra now instead of Kabutops, so I ended up wanting more special defensive, just like I did last time. This is also a really solid switch-in against his Hydreigon as well, which is ideally this time I won't have to lose it so early, because it actually is pretty good against like Zapdos, it's good against Pelipper, it's good against quite a few different things. I ran Thunder Wave instead of Toxic because I think I have a decent ways of answering Pelipper this time that I didn't have as much last time, and as a result I decided to go for Thunder Wave so I could potentially paralyze what I expect to be Scarf Hydreigon this time. So that way if he is Tailwinding or he is Scarf, then I don't have to worry about late game scenarios where I have to like dance around his Hydreigon, potentially threatening my Charizard. It's a lot cleaner that way in my opinion, so that was the idea behind the switch there. So to tie in with this partner in crime is Neolego. This time you may notice I have not brought up the fact that I don't have Seismitoad. Seismitoad's a lot worse this time because I don't have Kabutops to check. I'm not nearly as good against Kingdra because I'm not physically bulky enough to just tank repeated like dragon moves, like special dragon moves, and he's not threatening like Aqua Jet as much, that kind of stuff, so like it's just a little bit less useful, and then like it's not that good against Pelipper or Zapdos despite having water absorbing and electric immunities. It's like it can't do enough back to them to really justify bringing it, so I went with Neolego. It's basically the exact same set as last time, only I ditched HP Water, which was an okay coverage option for Dugtrio on the Switch, but because I'm Shed Shell anyways, Stealth Rock was just cleanly fit in here, and it wasn't really too much of a sweat. Same set as last time, same spread as last time, same plan as last time. Bait in Dugtrio early, and switch into Porygon 2 for the reverse trap, and hopefully we can actually properly execute that trap this time. I think having that plan of recovering immediately after switching in with Porygon will really put Dugtrio in a spot where it most likely won't be able to actually kill me, unlike last time where I kind of made a bit of a mistake there, and then Porygon 2 will be actually useful later on in the match. Neolego's great. It's really solid against Gardevoir that's not Scarfed as a revenge kill option. It's really solid against Hydreigons that don't have any moves that hit it. I don't think almost any coverage move does really that well against special defensive Neolego. It's solid against Zapdos. It's not great against Pelipper, but it can threaten it with Thunderbolt. like, overall, it's really, really solid on this team, and, yeah, don't really need an item as much, because it's mostly there to chip things that are already kind of weakened, but overall, that was the main idea behind the set. So yeah, that's the plan for that. So the next thing here is going to be Celebi. So this Celebi set is a bit different than last time. Last time, the Celebi was like, its sole purpose in life was to beat Kabutops, and it was only designed to beat Kabutops and nothing else. It didn't have any other real jobs. It was baton passing dry to try to get out of situations where it would get trapped. I had like Leech Seed, and I forget what the other coverage moves I had on there were, but I know I had Leech Seed, I think I had Recover. Maybe I didn't have Recover. I had Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Baton Pass, and I can't remember my last one. But it was because I was like mono grass attack, I know that much. So because he doesn't have Kabutops anymore, originally I actually almost cut Celebi, but then I was like, okay, well Celebi has other options. Let's take a look, because none of my other Pokemon were like particularly inspiring. So yeah, last time I had Healing Wish, that's right, I had Healing Wish for Charizard, which I didn't feel was as necessary this time if I played it with Roost. I could have like Heal Bell or something like that, but this set is basically, because I realized that Fairy is like pretty good against checking a certain good amount of Pokemon. Like it does well against non-scarfed Hydreigons. I obviously can't switch in raw against them, but it'll be a kind of a good surprise if they switch in against me. It does well against Kingdra, so it's still a check to Kingdra, and I resist its water stab moves, and I'm especially bulky enough to really tank some of the special attacking sets damage-wise. And then Calm Mind is there to be able to tank up against Kingdra mostly, and then I actually had, in the last lot I had Leech Seed, but then I realized that Baton Pass is still kind of necessary because of Muck Pursuit, but then this time I'm actually passing something, Calm Mind, and every Pokemon on my team has at least one special attacking move except for Charizard. So that's a really nice little added bonus. I'm hoping that isn't just too cute, but it's got the same idea as last time, where like I have all of the same kind of reasons for having it. And then yeah, this also like helps beat like a lot of Gardevoir sets. This is pretty decent against. It beats most of the like defensive Pokemon because of Natural Cure, like what do you call it? Dusknoir is not very good against me. You know, there's a few things that are good, but like I'm especially bulky enough to tank a lot of hits from a lot of Pokemon, and that's like the main goal, is to help against Kingdra for the most part. Yeah, so that's the idea there. This set is probably my least sure set because it's a little bit wonky, but I'm hoping that this isn't going to be a bad option. I could have Giga Drain over Recover, possibly, but my biggest concern with that is like Giga Drain doesn't hit anything except for Dugtrio super effectively, and I already have a plan against Dugtrio, and it doesn't really help much. Like it hits neutral on a couple of things, and it hits like not very effective on a bunch of other things, so I thought Recover would be a little bit better overall. So the Baton Pass might be a bit too cute. It may supposed to still be Leech Seed. I may 11th hour change that in the last moments, but I thought Baton Pass to get out of Muck Pursuit was going to be a good idea. Last Mon on the team is the new Mon this week, which is Choice Specs Comfey. So last time I had Seismitoad, but Seismitoad didn't really do much in that matchup last time, and this time I think it's also going to be even worse because of Kingdra. So Comfey is really good against a lot of Pokemon on his team. Like it crushes, absolutely crushes I can't remember the name of this Pokemon off the top of my head. It crushes his, I remember the Hydreigon. I can't seem to remember that for some reason. Yeah, it crushes Hydreigon. It crushes Dugtrio, assuming that I'm switching in on it and not vice versa. It does very well against defensive Pelipper's. It's very good against Kingdra. It's pretty much good against most things that are not like Muck and not Steelix. And so Hidden Power Electric is to hit Pelipper pretty hard. U-Turn is in case I ran U-Turn over Trick just because I wasn't confident that I'd be able to hit relevant tricks on things. Like, he has a lot of special attackers that wouldn't, like, absolutely hate having a choice specs on them, so I didn't feel like it was necessary on trick. U-turn is to scout things early. And then, you know, I can also do cute things like Baton Pass a Calm Mind to Comfey. The Calm Mind set I didn't run this time because Calm Mind is a lot harder to set up against his team than it was against Roush, because Roush has a lot more passive Pokemon, whereas he has, like, some offensive threats that are very obvious, that, like, Muck, for example. Like, if I set up Calm Mind and he switches in Muck, I just immediately have to switch out. So, at least if I'm U-turning or draining kissing, I'm at least doing something early on, and then it's not completely irrelevant. This is going to be a great revenge kill option against Kingdra because of the priority draining kiss, with doing quite a bit of damage to most Kingdras. And most Kingdras, like, I can tank a Hydro Pump from Kingdra in the rain. It'll do like 67 to 82%, and then I can 2-hit KO it with Draining Kiss. So I'm not necessarily switching in on Kingdras, unless I'm predicting a Draco Meteor or something like that. But that's like Specs rain. Specs in the rain, I can't tank at all, but if it's Hydro Pump. But there's lots of other potential situations. That's if it has to be Specs Hydro Pumping at that point. And I have other switches to that, like Celebi tanks that very, very well. So yeah, Specs in the rain, Hydro Pump is not going to do that much to Celebi relatively. So it's a lot better option for that reason. So there's kind of that two-part dynamic to where, like, if it Draco Meteors, then I have a free switch into Comfey, and if it Hydro Pumps, then I have a free switch in on Celebi. So yeah, overall, I think this team has a good chance to do well. Basically trying to set up for Dragonite, Charizard sweep again, and yeah, hopefully it goes just as well as it did last time. And yeah, gonna try to win first in the division here and secure our spot in getting a first round bye. Thanks for watching. Peace.